Hi guys, we're back again on Hubcast. Today I have an amazing, I wouldn't call him a client, I would call him a friend of mine, Manoj Vasnani. He is probably the most influential person that I've met. And I think throughout this podcast, I think he's going to share his stories and you'll get to know how influential this person is. So, Mr. Manoj, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Salman. Thank you for having me.
So, how's your day? I believe you had.
Lovely having slow days for a start in Dubai. This is the first time I'm staying here for so long, but hopefully it picks up some speed as we go forward.
100%. I'm glad you brought that up. In terms of Dubai, I think you've been coming here quite often, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you never actually plan on.
Met great people like you, yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that as a huge compliment. But never planned on coming here. What made that switch?
I think when you're in business, you need to move at the right pace to the right place. If you don't do that, you will be left out. You will be missing out. I don't mean fear of missing out, but you will be missing out the growth that you can achieve by moving at the right pace to the right place.
It's a very good saying. Right pace at the right place. Fair enough. I think you lived most of your life in Indonesia, right?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
Yes, I moved out from India in '97, and since then Indonesia has been home. But I think now it's time to move.
Yeah, we keep moving, we keep hustling.
Yeah.
But again, I'm pulling your leg at this point in terms of these questions. But I will ask again: what made the switch from India to Indonesia, and then?
I was stagnating in India. I worked right after school, and for two reasons. Maybe at that time, money was more of a priority than getting a college education. So I started working right after school. So right after my final exams, I took a break for 15 days. It wasn't really a break. I was actually looking for a job. And luckily for me that I got a job. And I started working, and I worked for about 6 years in India. Every 4 years, something happens that shakes you up, that moves you, or pushes you to a certain direction. And this is what I have noticed. So don't be scared to move.
Is it intentional, the 4 years, every 4 years, or is it something that happens?
I just happened to notice the change, the trend, like a few years ago. But it just happens every 4 years. I don't know why it happens, but it happens every 4 years.
That's good. That's I think, again, it's the universe. I believe in law of attraction a lot. So I think it just goes down to that.
Yes, and I believe if everybody starts noticing the change in life, I think they will notice this pattern. Maybe 4 or 5, but they will notice this pattern very, very strongly in their life.
I agree. And I think it's most of the people, when it comes down to it, it's just they're scared to take the risk.
Yes.
Scared to take the step.
Yes.
And I think you were basically brave enough to do that.
I'm not scared of anything.
I love that. No matter what it is.
I'm not scared of anything.
No repercussions, nothing, scared of nothing.
No, because the moment you get scared of something, or the fear starts building up in you, then you cannot move. You get stagnated.
That's very true.
You want to be where you are because it's part of your comfort zone. You're scared to move out. So I think fear is what keeps people
still
where they are and stuck.
True.
And not move forward. So
yeah, I agree. I think coming from personal experience as well, I can say it is very important to take that step when it's the right time. Yeah. Like you said, going back to your first saying, right pace, right place.
Right pace at the,
That's what it is.
Right place,
again, coming back to your professional background, tell us more about the company.
Me, I started working right after school when I was 17. My first job was I was working in a garment export factory in Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
My first job was as a garment checker, quality controller kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty rough job. And then do whatever you do passionately.
True.
Learn about it. I mean, no job is a burden. The moment you feel the job is a burden, you should leave it. That's what I firmly believe. So I was having fun at the job, learning new things. I think every day was a new day. It was very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
We used to work like close to 20 hours a day, and within 6 months, I got a promotion, of course, because firstly there was a vacant spot, and then things just fall into place. Right, there was a vacant spot. I was very close to the management, and then I got a slight promotion. I became an assistant manager. Salaries those days was like in India, it was like 1,000 rupees or something. So, but those promotions, those were very highly motivating.
Mm.
If you actually look at it now in terms of monetary benefits, there's hardly any. But I mean, the fact that you were promoted when you're 17, 18 years old is a huge deal, right?
Agreed.
And then I did that job, and then I was further promoted in about a year to a manager's position. And luckily for me, there was a lot of wastage, inefficiency, and stealing going on in that factory. So that probably, I found that out. We picked it up. That probably propelled me to a better position within the same position. And within that factory, like I learned each and every job very hard. I was very hands-on. I was not a desk manager.
Mm-hmm.
And that also learning every job, every skill brings you closer to people. I was in a garment factory. I learned sewing. I learned how to make patterns. I mean, I can do all that. I can stitch up a shirt from scratch. Even now, your size will be a little bit tough, but I can manage it.
I agree. I don't even find my size easily.
But I can stitch up a shirt from scratch. So that's the basic of, and that's the reason why when you do that, people kind of respect you. You're not given a lot of excuses or too much bullshit for that matter.
Yeah.
Because you know the job.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I learned that, and then I thought that this was not going anywhere. I shifted jobs after 5 years, I believe. I got a more front-end job for a couple of years. Also with part of the same management. I enjoyed that. It was a different thing. But it was very small, and I like I said, I thought I have to move, and all of a sudden one day I decided that that I should move. And I had some relatives at that time in Indonesia, and luckily for me, they could find me a job, and I moved out to Indonesia in 97.
And then I believe when you went there, you again started a job, right? Like you said?
Yeah. I worked right until 2010. 2010 is I was basically in just 3 jobs in that time.
Wow.
I didn't switch and swap too many. And in 2010 again, I decided that it's time to move, and I started my business. It was completely by chance, because when I left my last job, I tried to apply for a lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
As luck would have it, I didn't get a job.
Okay.
As you grow up in the ladder, the opportunities are not that many.
True.
So probably what I was looking for is something really high up on the ladder. And as you go up, it's the competition is very high, and everybody wants that big job. So there's very few spots left to pick.
Mm.
So I didn't get a job, and therefore I decided that I have to do something to feed my family. So
Yeah.
I started my own business, and that's how I became an entrepreneur.
And that was from scratch.
From scratch, absolutely.
And then it grew into something major.
Oh yeah, it took many years. It took a lot of pain. It took a lot of falls. Some big, some small. But you just have to keep your head down and keep doing your job, and you will get where you want to get at some point, as long as you have your the full picture in your mind. You want to know that this is where the movie ends.
Yeah.
You have to see that picture in your mind where you want to be. So once you see that, then you will achieve that. But if you don't have that picture in your mind, what are you set to achieve?
Agreed. And I think that's a thing that I've seen a lot of people where they are very comfortable.
Yep.
I think comfort is the enemy of progress, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The more comfortable you get, the more you stop striving for more.
Yeah.
And I think in your case, it's a perfect example of you striving. Even when you started the company, you didn't stop there.
No.
Kept on going. One turned into two, two turned into four.
Yeah.
And now you have mashallah.
Four became two.
Then it became 5.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just have to see the end. You have to see the whole picture in your mind first.
Yeah.
To achieve that movie. Because if you don't see that picture in your mind,
Yeah.
you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
And that process can be anywhere between, 1 to 30 years.
Wow.
That depends on where you are. Like I said, where you are at what time. If you're in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
that process might be faster.
Yeah.
But if you're not, that process can take longer. And then during this process, where you should have the right people around you.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, in my case, that this whole process took much longer than it should have.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe everyone has his or her destiny.
True.
And everybody's ending is probably different. So, yeah, I wish that, things could have been faster and much better. But I'm happy where I am.
I love that. What is something that you would say in terms of a business owner? What is one thing that helped you?
One thing that helped me
Grow.
to grow?
To grow the business, yourself, in general.
You have to have the right people around you.
Better.
If you don't have the right people around you, you can grow fast, but you can't grow far. You know what I mean?
Fair.
If you want to go far and grow far, you have to have the right people around you. That is very important. And I think that's one of my strengths, that I always have the right people around me.
That's a blessing, I would say.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's very hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. Personally, I would say, coming from where I am, where I'm going, it's hard to distinguish the people that are right for you. And then obviously you do your own analysis and you see what benefits.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't believe in the fact that you take benefits from people, give or take. I think sometimes it's just existing between each other and just helping each other grow in a sense that is not monetary based.
Yeah, that's a feeling that you have to give people who you want to grow with, right?
Yeah.
So if it's only transactional,
Exactly.
At some point people would read it.
Yeah.
If it's not transactional, they would feel it.
That's very true. That's very true. In terms of Manoj himself, I know we've spoken a lot. I know that you have a few tricks up your sleeve as well. I think we'll get into that as well.
Sure.
But tell me your day-to-day life. You wake up.
Me, until 2022, my day-to-day life was pretty mismanaged in the sense that, of course, I used to get up and go to work and do the normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The regular stuff which everybody does. But something flipped in 2022. I think I became more conscious about myself. I started looking after myself better than I did before, and I wish I had done this way longer. It paid off. I became extremely fit. I looked after myself, and I get up in the morning. I definitely would go for a run, or would get my get a good workout done. Definitely have a good breakfast, eat consciously, have a good lunch, have an early dinner, and the best time of the day was or is still today is going to bed at 7:38 and doing your stuff that you do for an hour. Talk to the people you want. Do a bit of reading. Watch. Nowadays, you get all the news from YouTube, so watch that and go up to sleep. I'm definitely up by 6:30 every morning.
Thanks. You're probably the only client that I have that gives me that motivation to just keep going and making me feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, and at some point you'll realize if you don't do the wrong thing, how do you know what's right?
Exactly.
So it's okay to trip and fall. It's okay to do the wrong things, but just keep going forward. One step forward is good enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to take 20 steps forward, as long as you're going that one step forward. But sometimes you have to take 2 steps backwards to go 4 steps forward.
Yeah.
So, you have to be agile. You have to be agile, nimble-fingered, agile-footed to know when you have to pull back.
Yeah.
Those 2 steps to leap 4 steps. So don't get stuck. I haven't moved this year. Oh my God, I'm stuck. Haven't taken that one step forward.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Agility is important in today's world. Maybe in those days it wasn't. Those days thought processes were very stuck up. I have to do this. I have to move forward. I have to. But today, agility is the key to success, I believe.
I agree.
Like I said, if you don't move with the market, if you don't move at the right pace to the right place.
Again, I don't like advertising myself or the company or anything.
Sure, go ahead. It's good to do that sometimes.
I don't like doing that. I want honest opinion. So, how was your experience when you came here? I think we met through someone, if you remember back in the days. And I think we were in touch for about 6 months.
Yeah.
If you remember. Yeah. So, how was that experience? Obviously, things are still going on, but you can tell me.
Frankly, when I had the first call with you, it was a very formal call. I didn't know who you are. You didn't know who I am. We just did a regular introduction. Not that I was highly impressed, or maybe even not that you were highly impressed with that call. It's a window shopper. You know what I mean? And when I came here last year, I actually had set up to meet somebody else. I gave you a call and you welcomed me. I think that was one of the boxes that I literally walked into your office and frankly, the first time I saw you, I thought, this chocolate boy, what is he going to do? And, stuff like that. I had no clue, is he going to deliver or not?
Yeah.
But in your own classy, aristocratic way, you delivered what you said. It was very impressive, frankly.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I never expected that, and I thought it's just going to be a regular marketing meeting.
Yeah.
sales talk, but no, in a very polished, aristocratic way, you delivered what you said. So
Thank you.
it was a very good experience I had, and from there onwards, I think we have just kept going forward, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And it's no longer a client or consultant relationship. It's
Yeah.
more like
You
a
guys are young. You guys are working hard. You guys are extremely motivated. It helps me also to remain, like I said, agile and
Yeah.
think fast, just like you guys.
I love that. And again, similarly, I'm not gonna just do like a compliment for a compliment. I generally mean it because I've said that to you many times. You do motivate me. Every time I meet you, it's like a different story. It's a different lesson, and it's something that helps me just keep going in the right direction. And I think we even had a call yesterday about something that was going on, and you were advising me in the right manner. So, like I said, it's no longer a relationship between a sales guy and a client, because I don't believe in transactional relationship, like I told you, and I think you don't also. So we align on that.
Yeah.
And I think those are the relationships you cherish, and those are the people you keep in your life.
Yeah, I think two things happen when you meet new people, right? Either you click or you don't click.
100%.
And if you click, it happens instantly. If you don't click, it happens instantly.
That's very true.
You'll probably see this as you go forward. The those you click, you should. I believe in that. Once you shake hands, you shouldn't keep changing. You shouldn't switch and swap.
Agreed.
It's important to have good partners in business.
It's very true.
You do your job. If the other guy has a different principle, that's all right.
Yeah.
They are entitled to that, but you do your job. And my rule is that you should have good partners
Agreed.
in business to grow far.
It's very true. I think I'll just make it a little less corporate at this point, because I think we've gone
Keep it as
professional.
Bring it on.
We'll do a quick fire.
Sure.
Few questions. First, okay, before we do the quick fire, I just wanted to let everyone know that Mr. Manoj is a man of many talents, and one of them is mimicry. He does very good mimicry. I know for our English speakers, for our English listeners, it might not be, something they can understand, but it is something you do as a hobby. And I think you can give us some...
just prank people. I don't
Exactly.
do this hobby and
I want to listen to that side of you. I think Amitabh was one of the people that you mimic.
I just prank people with that. Nothing serious, no serious mimicry, but yeah, KBC खेल सकते हैं. Welcome to KBC. Let us play. I just joke.
I love that. That's you still, a lot of people in in this part of their life where they've achieved almost a lot of things, like made a lot of money, like yourself.
Yeah.
They don't really get to the fun side of things. And it's always good to have that kid inside of you and let that kid not die.
It keeps, it maintains your sanity.
Agreed.
You have to laugh, and you have to be able to laugh and make people laugh. So you remain sane in the race to achieve what you want to achieve and where you want to go.
Yeah.
But you have to have these lighter sides to maintain your sanity. I do that. I keep pranking people wherever I can, whatever I can. You can say the same thing in a very straightforward way, or you can say the same thing, which might not be very well accepted, but you can say the same thing in a much lighter way, which might go unnoticed, but very well accepted. You know what I mean? So there are different ways to say things. And I watch. I wasn't a great fan of Hindi movies or any movies for that matter, but but in the recent movies, they've come up with some really great dialogues and punchlines and all that. So that's a bit funny. And then when you have to say something very serious, you use the crutches of these dialogues. It makes the whole atmosphere much lighter than normal.
True.
Of course, when it's hardcore business, you speak hardcore business, but when you can, keep it as light as you can.
Break the ice.
Yeah, keep it as light as you can. Diplomacy can be hardcore, uh, uh, hardcore play of words,
Yeah.
or diplomacy can also be lighter side of of uh, of a language which people understand more universally.
It's very true. And I think nowadays especially, diplomacy is something you need, be it in job,
Well, absolutely,
be it
absolutely.
anywhere. And I think corporate diplomacy is what we call it.
Absolutely.
But I think it's the way to go forward. It's not something hypocritical, in my opinion.
No,
I think it's just how you deal with situations and with people. Correct me if I'm wrong in that.
no, diplomacy it was always important.
Yeah.
From 100 years ago.
True.
Even now, it's now more so that it's important because people are so sensitive, and even the slightest wrong language or wrong word can push the wrong buttons.
That's
So I
very
think
true.
more so now that in today's world, diplomacy is more important than it ever was before.
It's very true. A lot of people just basically mistake it for hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wrong way of looking at things. I think a lot of things need to be looked at in a brighter way rather than something in a very pessimistic way,
Yeah.
right?
And those are the kind of people that who normally wouldn't go far or grow far, as I call it.
It's very true.
You don't let small things hurt you or shake you up. It
very
happens.
Very true. One more question I would ask you again, if you're comfortable with it. Tell us about your business. The business is in Indonesia.
Yeah. So I started my business in Indonesia. I started the factory in 2010.
2010.
I failed, went bankrupt. I restarted 2013. I did well. That factory is still running, and then I expanded in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Failed again. COVID, went bankrupt. So I've probably been bankrupt a few times.
Wow.
So I believe which is really good in a way because you know that the next time how not to go bankrupt. So it's nothing to feel. It's nothing to fear about. It's just part of the process. And by the time you become a finer business person,
Mm-hmm.
and you start taking the right decisions, and like I said, you need to have the right partners with you. And my thumb rule has been to be loyal and work very closely with your partners in a very transparent way. But it's
Yeah.
the other side maybe they have a different principle. They have a different style of working. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But it's been a long process. It's been 15 years of losing a lot of money
Mm.
and losing a lot of sleep, taking a very huge load of stress, and keeping the balance during this time, looking after your family, doing your job, bringing bread on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty demanding. It's not an easy process at all.
I agree.
And but having said this, I don't think anyone should shy from doing what they want to do for a start. And
Yeah.
I believe that achieving financial independence is in those days. Now maybe it's a little bit different with a lot of platforms available, social media and all that to speed
True.
up your growth. But those days, I think achieving financial independence was not that easy.
Mm.
But I wish that when we do these businesses, we think very narrowly. We are very I would say
Conservative.
no. You have to be focused, but at the same time, you have to I'll say it. I'll try to put it in a different way. You work very hard. So there's this fly in a glass box or a glass room. She keeps. She thinks she can go out of the glass room from anywhere.
Yeah.
But there's only one door. So if that fly can find that door, she doesn't have to go around the whole box knocking. She could have easily flown out of that glass box.
True.
So we were probably doing the same thing, that we are knocking at the glass door at every, wherever we think anything that's visible on the other side, you can just walk out. But all you had to do is just go to the door and you would have walked out.
Sweet.
So there was an easier way to do it. And you shouldn't confine yourselves to that narrow thinking, because the world is a huge place.
Yeah.
You should, you're happy to play in your playground, but I think you should make the world your playground.
Wise words, I'll say. Very wise. Again, coming back to the bankruptcy, I think a lot of people would give up. Like, how do you bounce back? I believe you said you had the right people around you.
Tough days. I was quite suicidal at that time. But once again, you somehow, some way, God sends you people in your life at a certain time, at a certain place, who have value at that time. And I'm glad I'm out of it, but somehow you end up meeting the right people at all those points of your life, and you have to choose those people.
Yeah.
They might have value at that point. At a later date, they might not have the same value. But, respect them for the value that they had at that time, and if not, just move on. It's okay.
Agreed. Wow, it's getting a bit touchy. Let's make it.
Go ahead.
Let's make it a little fun. I'll ask you a few questions. Like I said, I think you are also running late, so I'll make it very short. Bali or Dubai?
Bali, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting answer. For what? What would be your reasoning behind that?
Dubai is a urban jungle. There's only buildings here. Bali has there's nature. The people are nice. You can do your business out of Bali in a way that you can do it elsewhere. But yeah, it's much more fulfilling than in Dubai.
I think in terms of that personal well-being or the personal peace of mind, I think it gets a bit hectic in Dubai. But again, when you talk about business, I think there's no other better place than Dubai.
Absolutely.
Right?
No two thoughts about it.
Yeah, because I think you've done business in Singapore, you've done business in Bali.
No two thoughts about it.
It's very...
Dubai is where one should be.
Agreed, especially now.
For the next 10 years.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. What is something that you regret in life? One thing.
That I regret in life?
Yeah.
I should have treated my parents better.
What is something that you're proud of doing?
What I'm doing right now.
Amazing. That's an amazing answer. If you could give one advice, let's say I want to start a company tomorrow. I come to you and I say, Manoj bhai, give me an advice, one piece of advice, just one that will take me further. What would it be?
Take your first step and never look back.
Never look back. That's amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj,
My pleasure, Salman.
joining us.